Hey YouTubers, this is Nurse J at Nursing the Truth, and yes, I'm back for my third video today between cooking, supper, early, and Halloween decorations, answering the phones, and videos. This has been a day, but I love it. This is what Nurse J does. Okay, Nursing the Truth is always thinking about things to bring out, help people unwind their mind, and get to the real reality of why we are here and what are we searching for and what is truth and what is not. So I've made videos today about the mark of the beast. It's a sacred number and you need to check that one out. And I'm trying to remember what the other one was about, but anyway, it'll be popping up here shortly. But we're going to talk about the saints. Okay, so are we talking about the New Orleans Saints? No. Saints go marching in, right? Well, I live in the deep south and I like the saints. But we are talking about the saints of Christianity. Yes, the Holy Roman Empire, the Vatican, what's underneath the 53 miles long underlocked doors that have guards and police officers where you cannot get in. And even if you were to get in, they look over your shoulder and they want to know what the hell you're researching. So here goes. Like Mary, many other Christian saints are not historical persons, but are in fact the gods of other cultures usurped and demoted in order to unify the Holy Roman Empire. Woo! We're talking pagan all the way. The canon of saints was the Christian technique for preserving the pagan polytheism that people wanted while pretending, that's the key, pretending to only worship one monotheistic God. Now get this, the Catholic Encyclopedia itself admits it has indeed been said that the saints are the successors to the gods. Instances have been cited of pagan feasts becoming Christian, of pagan temples consecrated to the worship of the one true God, and statues of pagan gods baptized and transformed into Christian saint-making process, dear truth seekers, Christians took goddesses and gods such as Artemis to make into Saint Artemidos, Ursula, and Dionysus as Saint Dennis. Among many others, modified their names and gave them great historical exploits. In addition, the pagan temples or tombs of gods were converted into Christian churches. For example, the tomb of Dionysus Bacchus was transformed into the church of Saint Bacchus. As a historical scholar says, on the adoration of saints, they have transferred to their saints all the homage of the pagan gods. And they have had the Moses turned the horns of Jupiter Hammon. Oh, sorry. I'm reading this. The hatchet or hook of Saturn to Moses, the horns of Jupiter Hammon, and to St. Peter, the keys of Janus. In brief, They have chased away all the gods out of the pantheon of Rome to place in their rooms all the saints, whose images they worship with like devotion of those of the pagan gods sometimes were. They dress them up in apparel, they crown them with garlands of flowers. They carry them in procession, they bow before them. They address their prayers to them, and they make them descend from heaven, and they attribute to them miraculous virtues. You see, the Pope bows in front of the Madonna, the Black Madonna, and that is Isis, Horus, and Osiris. All those phony saints were highly profitable, of course, as fake relics such as their hair, fingers, and other bones and body parts proliferated, as this historian states. The church that slaughtered the heathen for worshiping false gods was itself guilty of worshiping false saints, which sometimes were even the same deities as those of the heathen. The church never lost sight of practical common sense on one point. However, saints were leading sources of its income thanks to the mandatory pilgrimage systems, donation, and your 10% of tithes. The multitudes of phony or commercial saints are treated by modern Catholic scholars with a rather amused tolerance, as if the saint maker's fantasies held something of the same charm as tales invented by bright little children. It is rarely admitted that these fantasies were not intended to charm, but rather to defraud. It is rarely admitted that these fantasies, rereading that sentence. The saints were made up to earn money for the church, and many of the made-up saints are still doing it to this day, for the church remains from publicizing their spurious origin, lest such publicity might disappoint the faithful, which translated means that donations might cease. So, if you are a Christian, or if you're in the church and you're just kind of scrambling across my videos, just know that I was a Christian once as well. You see, the Catholic Church is what has given us this phony thing, okay? And I'm always saying, I'm always going to go to the Egyptian Gnostics, or Gnosticism. Because even when you look at the Judaism, whatever, I don't care. I mean, you can't worship a thing that is, a murderous thing. But you got to understand these gods. There's these different gods and demigods. But the Gnostics knew that there was a creative source. And like I said, the Egyptians knew that from the very beginning. So that's where I go to. I go to the beginning. Oh, my blessed truth seekers, Gnostic, atheist, agnostics, whatever you are. Thank you, and also for my new subscribers, I thank you as well. Saint Josaphat, that saying, jumping Jehoshaphat, I always used to laugh at it when my mom would say stuff like that. In one of the more obvious of Christian deceptions, in order to convert followers of Lord Buddha, the church canonized him as Saint Josaphat. So you mean to tell me You lying suckers of the Catholic Church, you took Lord Buddha from Asia and you made him to Saint Josaphat. How disgusting are you? And you know you're going to get it. I don't care if it's in this lifetime or not. You will, your energy, your deceit, your hate, your lies will weigh you down. And you will come back. And they canonized him, which represented a Christian a corruption of the Buddhist title, Bodhisat. Bodhisat. The Holy Saint Josaphat, under which name, and due to an odd slip of inerrant inspiration, the great Lord Buddha, the light of Asia, was duly certified a saint in Roman martyrology. The medieval saint makers adapted the story of Buddha's early life to their own fictions, calling the father of Saint Josaphat an Indian king who kept the young saint confined to prevent him from becoming a Christian. He was converted anyway and produced the usual assortment of miracles, some of them copied from incidents in the life story of Buddha. Saint Josaphat enjoyed great popularity in the Middle Ages, an ironical development in a Europe that abhorred Buddhism as the work of the devil. Now you understand why the East doesn't like the West. You understand the lies of this Roman Empire, this Babylon. Yes, the Babylon, the great whore that drinks the cup of abominations. Hell yeah, I can say that. Yes, they make me sick. And it will come a day in time when they will fall. Oh, dearly beloveds, we are gathered here today to call this thing, busting it wide open, Saint Christopher. The beloved Saint Christopher is another Christian saint who was a remake of an ancient god. The well-known story of Christopher shows that he was a survival of Apharu, a name of Sut Anup. It is related that he overtook the child Christ at the side of the river Jordan and lifting him up on his back, carried him across the water, but all the while the wondrous child grew and grew and grew as they went, and when they reached the other side, the child had grown into the God. The genesis of this is the passage of the annual sun, S-U-N, across the waters, which reaches the other side of the full-grown divinity. As has been demonstrated, many of the great biblical heroes have been the Baals or gods of other cultures remade, as have been the Christian saints. This religion-making business utilized every single bit of technology it could muster, building upon centuries of such behavior and bringing it in to perfection. So, how do you feel at this point, knowing if you are a Catholic and you have based your whole life on this and you start digging into research like Eusebius, Origen, Tertullian, Celsus, Hippolytus, Emperor Justinian, Epiphanius. Oh, the list goes on and on, my dear truth seekers. I've read them. I know them. Book of the Dead. Ancient Light of the World by Gerald Massey. You're not going to get anything on Nurse J, honey. I'm going to tell you that. I know my stuff. So, how does that make you feel? Knowing that this thing has grown and grown into this facade. It's like, when is somebody going to come and bust this thing down? You know, I pray that, or whatever you want to call it, meditate, call on, pray, you know, what is it gonna take for it to come down? I think it's gonna take people like the truthers, the light workers, the 144,000, if that's what you want to call it. I don't believe in the book of Revelation anyway, but I'm just being funny. But you know, it's like people are gonna have to quit going. They're gonna have to quit going. Go back to the old ways. What worked for humanity? Go back and use your herbs, your essential oils, your aromatherapy, and quit eating this horse shit that they want to feed you through the processed foods, animals, GMOs. We're waking up, people. We are waking up. Fluoridated water that they got from the Nazis. Because before World War II, we were not getting that in our water. And I'm sure you've seen an uptick in mental retardation. You've seen an uptick in bipolar and schizophrenia. You've seen an uptake in downing the stupid school systems. So there again, it's your choice. Have a great day, and when you find the truth, let the truth set you free. Hotep and Ashe.